Ravens fans, I cannot wait for Sunday's matchup between your Baltimore Ravens and the Indianapolis Colts as Baltimore tries to move ahead to 3-0 on the season. I have a deal I am willing to offer you. If we get 300 likes on today's video, then we'll do a watch party this weekend. But we got to get to 300. So that's the challenge for you. You want the watch party? Go ahead and hit the like button on today's show. We get to 300. It's happening. Let's get started with this edition of Ravens Rundown. Could Cam Akers be headed to Baltimore? That's what we're talking about here on Ravens Rundown today. Tyler Jones here. Thanks for joining us. As a new report is out that the Ravens have reached out, have inquired to the Los Angeles Rams about a possible trade to bring in running back Cam Akers. The Rams are shopping Cam Akers. They talked about trading him last season. Ultimately didn't happen. And he started week 1 for the Rams. Got passed up on the depth chart, was a healthy scratch last week. Now they're looking for other options. The Ravens, of course, since that J.K. Dobbins injury, have had a hole to fill when it comes to that running back position. Here's more from Jordan Schultz with the reporting this afternoon. Sources, several teams have checked in with the Rams about a potential Cam Akers trade, including the Buccaneers, Ravens, Raiders, and Browns, among others. It's still possible Akers gets released, salary reasons, but the team is actively shopping him. He's more than likely played his last game. Akers has 3 consecutive 100-plus yard rushing games with 3 touchdowns to close out last season. Now, Jordan's not the only media member talking about the idea of Cam Akers being moved and possibly heading to Baltimore. Dallas Robinson of Pro Football Network had this to say about the idea. The Ravens lost Dobbins to a season-ending Achilles injury in week 1, throwing their backfield into confusion just one Sunday into the season. Jackson still profiles as Baltimore's primary rushing threat now that Dobbins is out, but the Ravens could choose to add another option like Akers. Here's the deal. Cam Akers is better than any running back the Ravens have on their roster right now and would provide an immediate spark to this run game as far as I'm concerned. You look at the Ravens running back depth chart right now. Gus Edwards, Justice Hill, now you got Melvin Gordon activated. Keaton Mitchell is on the PUP list at the moment. He's supposed to be back after week 4. And, of course, Patrick Ricard holding things down to the fullback spot. I want to do whatever I can to get Melvin Gordon off that active roster, okay, personally speaking. I don't want to have to depend on Melvin Gordon. You put Cam Akers there. He's your number 1 running back. Gus, I don't like as your number 1 running back. I don't think there's enough of a quick burst that Gus Edwards provides to be your bell cow back. Cam Akers can do that. And then have Gus Edwards and Justice Hill and Keaton Mitchell be the complementary pieces. Then all of a sudden, everything looks a lot better. You feel more confident about this running back room. We'll go over the scouting report, tell you more about Cam Akers and what a potential trade would look like for Cam Akers in just a moment. But first, our pinned comment today. Will the Ravens trade for Cam Akers? You're about to get an ad break while the ad's playing. Chime in. Tell me what you think. T for trade, P for pass. Let me know. Will the Ravens trade for Cam Akers or not? So the rushing statistics this past weekend against Cincinnati, you can see the Ravens' run game was decent. Gus Edwards had 10 carries for 62 yards, a touchdown, 6.2 yards per carry. But then there was Lamar, who had 12 carries for 54 yards, 4.5 average. Personally, I think that myself, Todd Monken included, want to see Lamar run less with the idea that he doesn't get hurt like we've seen the last couple of seasons. And another running back option makes it easier to have another guy that takes carries away from Lamar Jackson, essentially. Justice Hill, solid backup back. They've been able to get creative with Duvernay and Flowers to take some carries as well on some sweet plays of sorts. But Cam Akers, this is somebody that's coming off a career high in yards and touchdowns in 2022. So it's not like you're getting an older running back here. This is somebody in Cam Akers that's still coming into his own, that's still in the prime of his career. He's dealt with a few injuries here and there, but you just take on the contract as is. You don't have to give up a ton for him. I have a trade proposal that will show you here. To me, there's a whole lot more good than there is bad that comes with Cam Akers and what he could bring to this Baltimore Ravens team. This makes a ton of sense for where the Ravens are at this point in time after the J.K. Dobbins injury. If J.K. Dobbins was still around, probably wouldn't want to bring in Cam Akers, but under these circumstances, this is a no-brainer, the way I look at this. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time, one of our newest partners here at Chat Sports. Game Time is the place to go when you're talking about tickets to sporting events, concerts, comedy shows, and more, and for the best prices guaranteed. I was at a baseball game a while back, an Orioles game to be specific, and me and my buddies were trying to decide if we wanted to go to the game or not, and I stepped up and I said, you know what, guys? We have enough time. We can still park the car, make first pitch in time if we get on Game Time to get our tickets. And so that's what we did. Got on Game Time, create an account, find the game, the price, that low price guarantee, pick out your seat, you get the view of what your seat's going to look like, and then bam, bam, within a matter of moments, you're checking out and you got your tickets downloaded on your phone. Create an account today. Terms and conditions do apply. Best price guaranteed. And here's what we're going to offer you. We're going to give you $20 off when you use the promo code RAVENSCHAT, just for viewers of Ravens Rundown. That's $20 off with promo code RAVENSCHAT. So go ahead and download the app right now. Create the account. Start saving some money on tickets right now. Best prices guaranteed. $20 off with promo code RAVENSCHAT for Ravens tickets, concerts, comedy shows, and more. It's the place to get your tickets now. Sign up today. You'll be glad you did. The scouting report on Cam Akers. Here are 5 things you need to know about Cam Akers. He's got powerful legs. He is a very strong back, and he's a tough finisher. He can shred arm tacklers. Very physical, going to be very good to use in short yardage. And back in the day, he was a quarterback. So some potential trick play potential that you could use out of Cam Akers in that offense, another element if you so choose to go that route. The weaknesses for Cam Akers, he does lack the chunk play explosiveness. So this isn't somebody that's going to get you a ton of 20-plus yard carries, but he is going to be able to handle a heavy workload and get those extra yards after contact. He's not the best receiving back by any means, but he is very good in those first couple of downs to get you the rushing yards you need there. And honestly, I think you can develop. You can become a better receiving back. We saw what Tampa Bay had, what Tom Brady made those guys do there. I think you could apply the same thing in this case. Cam Akers, his career statistics, we mentioned last year was the best season of his career. In 15 games, had close to 800 yards, 4.2 yards per carry, 7 touchdowns on what was a really bad Rams team last year. You go back to his rookie season in 2020, had 4.3 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns, over 600 yards rushing. Cam Akers, solid back. I think Cam Akers would add a lot to this Ravens team and help this team go a long way. If the Ravens end up signing Cam Akers, if they sign him, trade him, whatever it may be, if he joins the Ravens, we are going to do a video here on the channel and let you know all about it. We are trying to get to 11.5K subscribers on the channel, just a little more than 200 away from reaching that next milestone. Subscribe today. That way you stay alert, and if something happens, you're going to find out, be the first to know about it here on the Ravens Rundown. Subscribe now for free and stay alert what's happening here with your Baltimore Ravens. So here's a potential trade idea for Cam Akers. I told you I don't think it's going to cost you that much. You take on the contract, the rest of his rookie deal, and you give up a 6th-round pick. And in actuality, you're probably not going to find a better player in the 6th round than you'd find in Cam Akers, and it's immediate help right now. I'm willing to give up a 6th-round pick for next year to help out my run game for now, because the Ravens are in win-now mode. And we saw with that win against the Bengals over the weekend, this team is in a position where they're the favorites to win the division, and they can compete right there with anybody in the AFC. If you want to win the Super Bowl, you have to take this run game seriously. And Cam Akers provides what you are looking for at a cheap cost. So I'm all in. Let's bring Cam Akers to Baltimore, get the job done. Eric DeCosta, John Harbaugh, You've heard me. Make the trade happen. If you want the watch party to happen this weekend, go ahead and hit that like button. I would love to be here, but it's up to you guys to make it happen. Will you deliver? We'll find out. Thanks for joining us here on this edition of Ravens Rundown.